In the deepest, darkest corner of a high-security research facility, a massive steel door bore a single chilling warning: "Do not feed the subject." Behind it, in a heavily reinforced containment chamber, lived something colossal. Scientists whispered in hushed, nervous tones, peering at the thick viewing window that showed only shadows. One lone guard, a man named Leo, stood before the chamber, a food tray in his hands. Against every protocol, against the terrified warnings of his colleagues, he opened the door and stepped inside. Within the dimly lit cell, a giantess sat chained, her eyes glowing faintly in the dark. She was an alien, a being of immense size and power, and she watched Leo's every move with a curious, predatory stillness. He approached slowly, not with fear, but with a strange sense of empathy. He placed the food gently on the ground near her, then stepped back. Instead of the violent rage the scientist had documented, she sniffed the offering with an almost childlike curiosity. As she began to eat, her expression softened for the first time since her capture. Just then, alarms blared through the facility. Unauthorized feeding detected. But it was too late. Something had changed. As security rushed in, the giantess growled, a low, protective rumble that shook the very foundations of the room. Leo calmed her with a soft voice, and her glowing eyes shifted from feral to something affectionate. Despite strict orders, Leo returned the next day. He found her waiting eagerly by the door. He offered her more food, as she crouched low, trying to make her enormous frame seem less threatening. The scientists watched the camera feeds in disbelief. He would sit beside her cell, talking for hours, and she would mimic his gestures, her enormous hand resting gently beside his as a sign of trust. This unauthorized bond infuriated the facility director. Leo was barred from the containment area. The giantess's response was immediate and terrifying. She roared in anger and grief, the entire facility shaking with her rage. She refused to eat, her health declining rapidly. Realizing the danger, Leo disobeyed orders and rushed back to her chamber. The moment she saw him, she went still. The roaring stopped. She curled her massive body protectively near the door, lowering her head to his level as he stepped inside. The scientists, watching in awe, finally understood. She only responded to him. That day, a terrible decision was made. The subject was too unstable. Termination was scheduled. As security bots entered the chamber with weapons drawn, the giantess sensed the danger. With a deafening roar that shattered lights and equipment, she broke her chains. Pure, unrestrained power erupted from her as she stepped between Leo and the armed bots. She charged, a whirlwind of primal fury, destroying the machines that threatened him. Then, with surprising gentleness, she lifted Leo into her arms, shielding his small body from the chaos as she tore through the facility walls. Alarms blared and red lights flashed as she escaped, stomping through corridors and carrying him close. The facility began to collapse around them, a testament to her power. She burst out into the night, silhouetted against the burning ruins, and set him down gently. He was coughing, disoriented, but alive. She knelt, her face close to his, her expression pleading, terrified he might leave her. In that moment, he knew she was bonded to him, perhaps too bonded. She gently wrapped a massive hand around his waist and lifted him onto her shoulder. With him clinging to her hair, she marched into the dense forest, away from the sirens and the approaching drones. They found refuge deep in the wilderness. She would hide him beneath her massive, curled body, humming softly in her alien language as he tended to her wounds. She brought him food, watched over him, and learned the simple signs he taught her. She refused to let him out of her sight, her enormous shadow a constant, gentle presence. A soft, rumbling whisper echoed in his ear, a mixture of her language and the words he'd taught her. Mine. Safe. Stay. Resting against her giant hand, Leo looked out at their strange new world and accepted his fate. He was hers, and she was his. And together, they were finally free.